What's up guys, Nolan here, and today we got patch 13.1, or at least part of it, as shown in the patch notes yesterday, and through testing today, so let's talk about it. Exactly 1 minute after my video went live yesterday, BSG posted the patch notes for patch 13.1, and it showed less than we had on the roadmap. In case you guys are wondering, I did do a video on the second channel where I went in depth and actually went through the patch notes because it did go live exactly 1 minute after I posted my video, so YouTube does not like where you post multiple videos. If you're interested, I would go and follow me on my second channel, because I have been doing long form discussions over there, as opposed to, of course, my short and edited videos here. Now, to be clear here, there should not be an increase in FPS with the patch that we got today, which should be better, and that is according to the patch notes that we got yesterday. And you should be seeing on screen right now of what should be happening in game right now. And what should be better is the sound, the desync with players, and the hit registration. There was also a change in blunt damage and blacked limb damage. Blacked limb damage was decreased by 30%. However, in practice, it was only lowered for limbs, and this is intentional. The damage seems to stay the same for your torso and head and stomach, meaning the nerf that we thought we were going to get to leg meta ended up not actually happening, since if you are being cleaved down through leg meta, it will still kill you just as fast, since it does the same damage to your torso and head. Again, I asked BSG and they said this was intentional, but haven't elaborated on why. And yes, I was very clear with them that genuinely in practice in game, this really doesn't change anything. Sure, on the odds and ends stuff where you get hit to just an arm, and if you want it to only affect an arm, then sometimes it will, and if you're not actually getting like cleaved down by leg meta, like if somebody's not running up you with a Taz or a Vector or whatever, and they're genuinely trying to kill you with leg meta, you're still going to die the exact same way from leg meta. And that's what we were hoping would be part of the change, but that was not BSG's intention for whatever reason. Now, they do want feedback on this, and I tweeted a poll, which my Twitter is linked below if you are interested, and the conversation is ongoing. Something that I do want to add here is, as long as it's still part of patch 14, which we'll talk about in a minute, the armor hitbox change is intended, as shown from the most recent roadmap. Patch 14 is supposed to include the new armor hitbox system. So while we're on the subject, I could see something changing in the future along with leg meta and how that works with black limbs, because of how the armor hitbox system is going to work, but we'll see. There has not been any official word on that yet. Now, blunt damage has been increased, so you'll be seeing that a bit more in your death screens as well. That's definitely working. The sound changes as per the patch notes are noticeable and generally better, while the desync and hit reg is reportedly better as well, but only slightly. I'm saying it that way because most reports they didn't notice a change. The biggest change I've seen is on streets, where the performance is about the same, but you do get 20 players at most in there now, so that is technically an improvement because it's staying the same and you have more people in the game. And it should be noticeable for those who have struggled before, so definitely if you struggled on streets before, go check it out now. Also, turning on auto ram cleaner is reported to be working as well, so do that as well. As I'm writing this, there are plenty of reports of people getting better FPS, which could be from a number of things, but FPS was not one of the goals with this actually released version of 13.1. It was on the roadmap, but it wasn't actually a goal as per the patch notes that they released yesterday. Because they didn't get Unity 21 in yet, I assume there's been several things that are tied into it, one of those things being the FPS. One of those things was what I would think would be the more players in raid, but they actually did accomplish that on streets, so I'm actually not sure what's happening there. They also didn't seem to add the new object occlusion system, which we saw during the Tarkov TV. I feel like they really would have said that, and I did ask them directly and they didn't respond to that, so I'm assuming it's not in yet. Overall, the patch is honestly seen as a net positive, but just slightly, and of course not what we were really expecting from the roadmap. In the patch notes, BSG said there will be a new roadmap, so once that shows up, you will of course find it here on the channel. Now, in terms of events and wipe, the events are still going, and I personally see these as the new kind of pre-wipe where it's just elongated. The real tell will be whatever new event that we get on Monday, as long as they are still sticking to the apparent new schedule of new events happening on Mondays. That is likely leading us to a wipe in the next month, as long as things keep progressing this way. I do not know if this means we get patch 14 for the wipe or not, though. I want to go into a speculation rabbit hole here, but before I do, I will say it's extremely likely that the game does wipe in the next month or so. We just don't know for sure what's coming with it. Now, to get a little crazy here, I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking. I think the most likely outcome here, given what's happened with Unity 21 and the incomplete list from patch 13.1, is that BSG wipe with patch 14, and there are some or a lot of missing features on the list of the roadmap for patch 14. It seemed clear to me that at least some of the big features in patch 14 were dependent on the tech coming with Unity 21 and patch 13.1, so I think what they end up doing is removing the features that were and then release with what they have. Now, that is if they stick to the current usual time frame of a wipe around this time of year. And although I think that's what they will do, there's still some possibilities here. It is possible that they figure out some of the pushed features from 13.1 in time for 14 and maybe even Uni 21, but that's a long shot. I also think it's possible they elongate this current wipe until they have what they need for what they see as sort of a minimal viable product, for lack of a better word or phrasing, for a wipe. Basically, what they see as enough to warrant a wipe, where they can still get something out and they can get it in our hands for testing, but less than they initially intended due to the absence of Uni 21 and some of the planned changes with 13.1 around the netcode. That roadmap was our map for what happens next, and things have been changed, so we don't have a clear picture of what happens next. Now, to be clear, I could be completely wrong here, and everything that is expected to be in patch 14 doesn't require what we haven't gotten yet with Uni 21 or the stuff that was removed from 13.1. Honestly, for all I know, the stuff that they added with 13.1 is all they needed to add the features that were expected with patch 14, and patch 14 could be released as it stands in the patch notes, or sorry, in the roadmap. The best that we have right now is that these events are absolutely pre-wipe, so it should end with a wipe, and there is a tournament next Saturday, so we are going to be waiting until after that to really find out what happens next, apart from what we're assuming is a new event on Monday. So since we're waiting for another roadmap from BSG, I think it would be smart to look out for word from them after or during that PvP tournament, as that's when it would make the most sense for them to make such an announcement, so now we wait. Again, the schedule for the boss event, which again is still ongoing, can be found on the Wiki events page. They seem to be changed now based off of the downtime while the patch was uploaded, but they're working on it. It might even be updated by the time this video goes live. And if anything else pops up, I'll talk about it on Twitter and Discord before I get a video out. So per usual, you can find those linked below. And also remember that tweet poll that I put out. BSG are looking at that for feedback in terms of what's been changed with the 30% reduction and stuff like that. So go check that out if you want to take part. But that's going to do it for today, guys. You know the drill. Like if you did, sub for more. Let me know what you think in the comments. Check out my other channels for other games right here, such as Star Citizen, which is going to be free to play for the next 2 weeks. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.